Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G here. Guys, I want to get right into a conversation. Have you ever noticed that Black women often, when they date out, talk more about Black related racial issues? And I want to talk about why I think that is. Subscribe to my channel and let's have a little chat.
If she got an E in her name, she's dangerous. If she got an A in her name, run. If she got both, rest in peace, my brother.
Okay, so a lot of times when I post things here, or even like on other social media platforms, and it might be about racism or experiences, a lot of comments will come in and be like, well, why are you with a white man? Or shut up, you can't talk about like these kind of issues because your partner is not Black. Or they will also say that it's out of some sort of guilt. Say like, hey, I'm still trying to be a part of the community, like whatever they want to call them, swirlers, whatever. Like they'll start accusing you of those kind of things. And I have a really different perspective because I would say like when I started living in Italy, really, is moments where I felt more inclined to talk about racial issues. And I don't know if it was like I was really engulfed in a world that was so far from my own and so white, because growing up or in my life was always around people of color. It might have been lots of different types of people of color, but generally it was a really well balanced. And when I dated like non-Black men in the United States, it wasn't just like they were exclusively white, and even if I did, like I had all of that balance. I think the biggest reason that Black women finally start talking about racial issues more is because they can. They actually can talk about their own personal issues and the things that affect them as a Black woman. Because it often feels like when you talk about, as a Black woman, when you talk to a Black man about your own experience with race, with gender, and like the combination of how that makes things sometimes like much harder for you because you don't have the privilege of maleness. And so you're not privileged on any level, where at least Black men have male privilege, right? But if you try and talk to them, they will argue you down. They will not let you get a word in edgewise, because they'll be like, well, you're a woman, like women always have it easier, this, that, it, like, because they really believe patriarchy, right? Like they really believe it. And they don't have the ability to hear us. I mean, I have this experience sometimes now when I am talking to Black men in my life, right? Especially in the United States. Not so much men who have like lived in other places, but especially like American Black men. They cannot hear you. They refuse to hear you. And you finally get a voice because your other partner cannot dismiss you as having it worse. And this is not just saying like a white man. Even if you're dating like an Asian, like I mean, I think about, yes, Asians have like racial prejudice, but a lot of times they recognize even they have privileges in association with ethnicity over like Black people. It's like finally you can be heard. Finally you can tell people your story. Finally, no one's going to argue you down about the things that you say, unless of course you post it on social media, and then there they are. I will say that I never felt so much, and this is crazy, I know, in the United States, as much racism that goes on there, but I would say that here I didn't feel like my Blackness as heavily in the United States as I did when I came to Italy, like not even when I was in other places. So I think sometimes it's just like, wow, like people really are fucking racist, like, because like I think in the US you can have periods of time where it's not affecting you, whereas sometimes like here, um something always ends up coming up, microaggressions, some little thing where it's just like, you know, even if you just see it online, knowing that it's nearby, that makes a difference. Like being able to tell your story and tell it from a perspective that does not have to be filtered through someone else's experience. And that's important. And I don't think it has anything to do with guilt. I don't think it has, because, like, what do you feel guilty about? Living the life that you want? Like, I don't think that's it at all. More women are finally like, oh, wait, I can be my whole human self. And sometimes that comes with being able to say all the things you have to say. And I think that we want to say, like, hey, Black woman, I see you. I understand, you know, that you can't say it, so I'm saying it for us in some ways, you know? Maybe I have the ability to be in these spaces and making a voice heard that can affect everyone's life, because it'll affect my children for the better. Like, they know they have a mom who is aware, strong. They can come to you and say, you know, these are real experiences for me too. Like, that's part of the reason why Black women have a better outcome with their children when they are of, like, mixed ethnicities, right? Like, as far as identity goes, like, these children are usually less confused. Usually, we all knew that Meghan Markle did not find out she was Black until she married Prince Harry, but that's a rare case. And I think that, yeah, I think that is the thing. Like, you finally get to talk about your things without having to filter it through other people. So yeah, I think it's just that simple. Like, everyone wants to be heard and listened to, and everybody just wants to be able to have a voice. So guys, subscribe to my channel. I look forward to your comments, and ciao ciao for now.